Morning, welcome again. This is Monday. Welcome again to Gospel Life News. I will bring you guys updates regarding music across the country. And this is the only space in the world where we'll talk about Afrobeat and the guys that makes the beat. My name is Daki. You can spell it as Darki, and then you know it's double E. I'm so excited to be in your faces. We have our news today boiling up, and if I were you, I really would go nowhere. Just before the news, I'd like to mention the fact that I want to appreciate all our fans all over the world. Thank you for doing what you do. We love you. We appreciate you. We will never take you guys for granted. You guys are the reason we are doing what we do. We want to say big thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's because of you we do all of this. We also implore you guys to please put on your notification button so you'll be the first person to know whenever we make a video, post, or a content. The news is buzzing. But then before Afrobeat news, I'd like to mention the fact that Rihanna, the amazing lady, we saw where she got paid the sum of over 9 million US dollars to perform at the richest man in Indian son's wedding, Mukesh Ambani. We saw Rihanna coming out of retirement to go perform at the wedding, and it is alleged that she was paid 9 million US dollars. That's big amounts of money, but trust me, that is what hard work has paid off for Rihanna. While we're still talking about all of this, let's go back to see what Afrobeats are doing. Begin with Burna Boy. We saw Burna Boy receiving at the Boston show where when they sold out the space, we saw where a representative of the Boston team came out to officially declare the second day of March as Burna Boy's day in Boston. I'm missing one, trust me. Burna Boy is that big. Now, Burna Boy has been doing the shows in such a way that he does 2 nights. So he does 2 days, 2 nights, and he's selling out all the spaces. But then it has been announced that the second day of March, it's Burna Boy Day in Boston. He got that one with the certificate, and obviously the team came out to announce that one, courtesy the mayor of the city. We saw Burna Boy come now to accept it, where he said, "I feel incredibly honored and privileged. Thank you, Boston. The goal has always been the same: to bring the world together. We are also different, but all the same." 2nd of March, also known as Burna Boy's Day, I told them. This is coming from ODG himself. And moving on, we saw on a live session with Rick Ross and Nasty C. We saw where they're having a live conversation. And Rick Ross actually asked Nasty to mention his 3 favorite African stars. And we saw surprisingly, they both mentioned Burna Boy at the same time. Like Burna Boy, Nas was like, "Yo, I was gonna say that Burna Boy." It also mentioned Akon, but the fact is, Rick Ross has always been farming Afrobeat stars, like from inception. He loves all of them. He's farming them, calling out the names, Burna Boy, and it's good to see that these guys are getting the recognition they deserve. Massive one to Burna Boy, to Akon, and the likes who make sure they make this amazing guys top 3 lists. Moving on, we saw Burna Boy just after selling out the Boston show. We saw where he actually was there present to watch the basketball game between the Golden State Warriors and Boston Celtics basketball game at the TD Garden. The same arena he sold out and performed last night. And we saw Burna Boy was there at the front seat. This front seat is specially made for celebrities. Not your money cannot get that seat. Trust me, it has to be that you're a celebrity. And then we're seeing Burna Boy getting such privilege, and it's actually a big one. We saw just before the tournament, we saw him with Joe Brown, and then we saw Joe Brown reminding him that Burna Boy, you must be there at the game, you must watch the game, and Burna Boy honored the invitation by going there to see that beautiful game of basketball. Moving on, we saw for the USA Apple Music Top Album, Burna Boy, I told them as we speak, currently sit at number 86, and that's a massive one in the top 100. It's back to the top 100, and is now doing good numbers with massive progress on the top 100. Moving on, we saw on the UK Apple Music chart, Burna Boy, I told them, sit at number 65, and while City Boy sit at number 99 on the top song charts. Moving on, we saw in the last 9 days, Burna Boy has done about 6 arenas, and that's not the news. The news is in 9 days, he has sold out 6 arenas. The next stop is Capital One Arena at Washington, D.C., and guess what? He has sold that one out already. Moving on, we saw Burna Boy Love Damini made a re-entrance on the top 10 on Spotify Weekly Top Album Nigeria at number 10. By that, Love Damini became the oldest album in the chart top 10. Burna Boy has been doing crazy numbers on this chart, and as we speak, he's back on the top 10 Nigeria, and he has been the longest, the oldest album in the charts, top 10. Massive one. Now, Burna Boy Love Damini is one album that actually changed the face of Afrobeat, and trust me, it's just cool to see that he is getting all the flowers he deserves. Moving on, we saw a lot of comments coming from Bank Arena. People came out to give their recommendations, their thoughts, their ambience, what they thought about the show, and it was all positive. Somebody saying, beyond my expectation, Burna Boy never disappoint. Somebody saying great performance. And people just had good and positive words to say about Burna Boy at the Bank Arena. Moving on, we saw Burna Boy became the biggest gainer on Canada's Spotify weekly top artist chart, and by that, Burna Boy sits at number 65 on the top artist chart. Massive one. He is the highest speaking and the longest chatting African artist in the chart history, and also the only African the only African artist on the chart as we speak. Rema used to be here, but obviously Calm Down has done his time, and I was seeing Burna Boy with a more newer song, more newer album, more newer project, obviously making that chart looks like his own as we speak. Moving on, we saw Burna Boy for the month of February has gained over 143 million streams on Spotify in the month of February across all credits. And so far, he was the most streamed African artist on the platform in February. Away from Burna Boy, let's see what Davido is doing in the department. 3 news on Davido we saw where the true version of Sensational is currently charting in top 40 of the USA iTunes R&B top song at 11 and 38 simultaneously. Also, we saw Unavailable have just surpassed 3 million plays on SoundCloud, and Davido Aya Aya have just surpassed 153 stream across all versions on YouTube. And also, we saw Chris Brown's Sensational featuring Davido and Lojay have just surpassed 50 million views on YouTube. Now, as we speak, we understand that Davido is bigger on YouTube than on Spotify, and that's why you see his numbers are insane on YouTube, but on Spotify are still gaining momentum like every passing day. In the month of February, we saw Davido as his biggest change in airplay globally, and it went up about 160%. It went up about 190 in the US, 78 in the UK, 90 in Nigeria, 60 in Switzerland, 40 in UAE and Dominica, 15 in Canada, 19 in Spain, 17 in France, 30 in Ghana, and South Africa. Cumulatively, it went up about 160% on the airplay globally. We saw Davido Kante have just surpassed 42 million streams on Spotify, and Chris Brown's Sensational have also just surpassed 8 million streams on Pandora. Recall that Pandora is only available in the US. We also saw on the Billboard radio chart via Quab, we saw Sensational hit a new peak as number 35, having spent about 65 days in the top 100. Now, tomorrow is Tuesday. We all can't wait to see what Davido's song will do on the Billboard. Last week, it was on the Billboard Hot 100. This week, we'll lift it there. Now, the journey has always been 1 week out, 1 week in. 1 week out, 1 week in. Last week was in. Will it be out this week? Let's keep our fingers crossed. Moving on, we saw Chris Brown's Sensational with Davido and Lojay have just surpassed 48 million streams on Spotify, and that's a very massive one. Like I said, Davido on Spotify might not be that numbers, but on YouTube, he is gaining serious momentum. We saw Odumodu Black continued in the spree of the cho, and I made you, I did not make you, and then we saw when he came out to rant. Davido quoted that tweet where he said, "Una to get wahala," and trust me, at this point, a lot of person felt like we should have moved past this Odumodu chant and all of that, but Davido just had this to say about the old chant where he said, "Una to get wahala." Finally, on the news, we have WIZKID Machala as the next guy on the news. We saw MHD with Bella featuring WIZKID that just surpassed 93 million streams on Spotify. WIZKID is just on Spotify lately. His numbers are impressive. They are going bigger every passing day. We also saw Energy with Skepta have just surpassed 120 million streams on Spotify. And for the last 24 hours, we saw Essence with Thames gained over 224,000 streams in the last 24 hours on Spotify. And we saw WIZKID on this Instagram. Over the weekend, WIZKID was just posting back to back from new album to You'll Be Okay to his mom's name, Morayo. And he has just been, a lot of people just believe that, not popular opinion actually, WIZKID has no more past his mom. He still misses his mom. And the truth is, nobody forgets their mom that easily. We just pray we find strength to move on as soon as possible. Away from all of that, we saw Wizkid come now to post art made with love, and a lot of person want to believe now he did that with a music emoji, and which actually means that it could just be a lyrics from one of the song, and we can. I would have told us an album is coming, so basically this might just be something that will gear us up for Wizkid's forthcoming album. We saw WIZKID Superstar has just garnered 40 million stream on Spotify. We have songs like Don't Doll doing 7 million, Pakumoro doing Pakuromo doing 6 million, Love My Baby doing 3 million, Tease Me with Bad Guys doing 3 million, No Lily doing 3 million, Ola At Your Boy doing 200,000, 2 million. We have Wiz Party doing 2 million. We have Slow Wine doing 1 million. We have Oluwaloni doing 1 million. Thereabout. Cumulatively, he has just done 40 million streams on Spotify. WIZKID Back to Me, one of the Amapiano songs of the More Love Less Ego project, have just also surpassed 35 million streams on Spotify. And then finally on the news, we saw WIZKID has been certified in Belgium quite a long time ago with the song Joro. And then we saw, talking about Essence and Joro, but we saw the flags just get to WIZKID department in the, over the weekend, and WIZKID took delivery of the plaques in it got in Belgium with the songs WIZKID Essence and Joro. WIZKID is massive. He might not have the best of times now, but we're sure that one thing is certain about WIZKID, just when you're giving up on him, he would always come back stronger. My name is Daki. We'll catch you guys on the very, very next one.